This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hey, welcome everybody to Films and Fermentation. I'm Leo, one of the hosts of Films and Fermentation, and you're listening to my mini-pod review of the horror film Abigail. Warning, this review does contain spoilers.
Please let me out. I'm scared.
Cut the shit. You're really good at pretending to be a little girl.
Thank you.
Quick question. Who's inside a cage right now? What do we know about vampires? How do we kill it?
Crucifixes.
Stake through the heart. Daylight is a big one. We need to find a way out of here. We split up. This is just a game to her.
What can I say? I like playing with my phone.
Hello?
What do you get when you mix a delicate ballet dancer, a team of bumbling criminals, and a vampire twist? You get Abigail, a film that pirouettes between thriller, horror, and unintentional comedy with the grace of a rhinoceros and a tutu. Set in what is an older mansion, the movie kicks off with a young ballet dancer, Abigail, being kidnapped by 6 criminals who might have gotten their criminal training from a Saturday morning cartoon. Their leader, Lambert, played by Giancarlo Esposito, orchestrates this ragtag ensemble with the promise of $50 million ransom. But this heist makes the plot of Home Alone look sophisticated. Our crew of misfits includes Joey, played by Melissa Berrera, a former Army medic. Frank, played by Dan Stevens, an ex-NYPD detective who seems to solve problems with his fists. Sammy, played by Katherine Newton, a hacker who probably thinks coding is just bashing the keyboard. Along for the ride are Rickles, a sniper who clearly misses more than he hits. Peter, a mob enforcer with brains as small as his vocabulary. And Dean, a driver whose sociopathy makes him more dangerous behind the wheel than any New York cabbie. From the start, Joey is clearly the only one with a moral compass, albeit a shaky one, as she reluctantly takes on the role of Abigail's reluctant guardian. Abigail, played by newcomer Alicia Weir, is proving to be more insightful than her captors, revealing that her father, Christophe Lazar, won't pay the ransom. Why? Because he's not just any deadbeat dad. He's an all-powerful crime lord with a heart that's cold as a vampire's. Speaking of vampires, enter Valdez, who turns out to be Abigail herself. The House of Horrors shifts into high gear as the gang discovers that garlic and crucifixes are as useful against vampires as a squirt gun against a forest fire. Abigail, our centuries-old vampire with the charm of a black widow, turns the tables on her kidnappers, who quickly find themselves outmatched and outwitted. Amidst the chaos, Joey and Abigail eventually have to team up to fight a vampiric surprise as another vampire enters the scene. Joey and Abigail team up in a last-ditch effort to take this vampire down. Abigail gives Joey a pep talk straight out of a self-help book, urging her to reconnect with her estranged son. The cherry on this blood-soaked sundae is Lixar, possibly Dracula himself, also known as Daddy, shows up. The dramatic confrontation is confusing, leaving you wondering if you missed a few chapters in the book somewhere. Lazar, in a rare moment of vampire daddy tenderness, allows Joey to leave, battered but not broken. Abigail is a ballet of blood and buffoonery, a film that twirls between horror and hilarity with a finale that is as muddled as a toddler's finger painting. It's a chaotic ride that's oddly entertaining, even if it leaves you scratching your head and wondering what the hell just happened. And as negative as I might have sounded just now, believe it or not, I actually like this movie. It was very entertaining, even if the ending was a little muddled. So I give it a recommendation. Check it out. You should also check out my previous mini-pod review of Late Night with the Devil, and look for my upcoming review of The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Once again, I'm Leo for Films and Fermentation. Thank you for listening. Cheers, everybody. And join us on June 4th for our Season 9 premiere, Films That Time Forgot.
This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.